Sydney, is it true that you were adopted into your brother's family? I can't believe you still try and act like his little sister. Disgusting. You are definitely not coming to our wedding. I cannot be asked to have some kind of stranger like you acting as though you're family at a place like my wedding. What? You didn't know about that before? I thought I explained all of that to you a while back when I first met you, Brianna. Well, I never really care to listen to anything you have to say. I've always thought of you as this really boring girl and all, which has always been odd to me considering the kind of man that Brendan is. But now that I'm aware that you're not even related to him, it all makes a whole ton more sense. There is not a better man around than my lovely and strong man Brendan. Oh, that's right. You are madly in love with everything about Brendan. And that's why you always pushed me away anytime I came to talk with you guys. Not only does he have a really good body and face, but he's also insanely good at sports and currently running a company of his own. I never thought that a man as perfect as him could ever have such a boring little sister like the one I'm having to talk to right now. But now that I'm aware you were adopted into his family, it all makes a bunch more sense to me. I don't want you coming to our wedding, all right? And from here on out, I don't want you calling yourself Brendan's family anymore, okay? I have not been going around doing something like that anyway. I barely even talk to the guy anymore now that we're both older. So yeah, I can leave you both alone now and do my own thing. But just don't let him out of your sight, or he might come back looking for me. Like he'd ever. There is nothing special about you that is worth Brendan's attention anymore. You're not even related by blood. Like, how come he was even calling you a sister when even he knows that your guys' relationship is so stupid? I'm laughing so much about this right now. You've just been lying about being a part of his family this whole time. The next time I'm able to go out and see his parents, I want to ask them why they even bothered adopting. I have no idea why you think it's so funny to make fun of me that way. Are you even going to listen to what I have to say about all of this? You never listening to anyone besides Brendan and your own conscience is one of your worst qualities. I don't like to be preached by strangers, all right? I was taught by my parents all my life to never talk with strangers, so I'm afraid I should stop talking with you now, too. Then stop texting me and go find something better to do with your time. I don't even want to talk with you right now anyway. It seems like that you and I both hate one another now. How about we just cut to the chase and cut ties to one another? I would hate to have you still sitting around my Brendan when you could tell him all sorts of nasty things about me, which are lies. Stop talking to me like you know anything at all about what I do and the relationship I have with Brendan. I like to think I could be helping him out right now by getting you the heck away from him. Huh? Now you're really starting to let crazy things slip out of that mouth of yours, huh? All you are is a little parasite that depends on the money Brendan makes and don't even have a job of your own, right? You're not going to help him in any way by doing that. Rather trip him up and ruin things for everyone. Does Brendan say that kind of crap about me? Well, of course he does. But I knew all of that about you from the very start, Sydney. The only thing I didn't know was that you were not related to Brendan by blood. So thinking you were actually his sister, I thought he had no other choice but to help you out financially. However, now that I'm aware of who you really are, I think he needs to cast you out right now, you stranger. Brendan really is so kind to other, lesser people, isn't he? I feel like I'm about to explode here in a few seconds, so I'm calling this here. You and I are both going to cut ties to one another now, right? That's absolutely right. And like I was just saying, you are not coming out to our wedding. Understood? I understand. I'm not going. I don't even want to see your face anymore. This also means you can't come to Brendan anymore begging for money, right? I know. I will no longer be going around the both of you. Thank you very much. Acting all tough now, are we?
I heard about this from Brianna, but are you really not planning on coming to our wedding?
That's right, I'm not going. She told me that she wouldn't allow me to come, and before I could even explain much to her, she shut me out. I'm freaking tired of all her crap, Brendan. I want to ask you something. Are you seriously planning to still marry a girl like her?
Well, of course I am. I can't allow a chance like this to run away from me any longer. Brianna is completely in love with me and can't take her eyes off me. You can see that yourself, right? Also, Brianna was born into a lot of money. As long as I'm able to marry her, I'll have a safe and secure future, right?
Oh, come on now, Brendan, and stop all of that. Aren't you aware of how strict her family is about stuff like that? I don't think things are going to go well for you in a family like that. So are you really sure you still want to marry her?
I won't know how things will go with her family without trying, you know. Also, with how things have already been going for me, if I don't do anything soon, I'm gonna live a bad life. So shouldn't I be taking chances now to try and save my skin? I mean, at least when I first went and saw her parents, they both seemed chill and okay with the man I am. So there's no way this can actually end horribly for me, even if Brianna herself is a bit much.
All right. I get that she may be a total jerk, but the fact that she's being fooled into loving a man like you right now is so saddening.
I haven't been fooling her about anything, Sydney. She was the one that fell head over heels for me. That's why I'm saying I'll never have a chance like this again if I let this one get away from me.
I'm sure that might be the case for you, but that girl isn't any better off than you are, okay? Have you heard from her anything about the things she said to me?
Just think about this, please. Do you really think a well-put-together woman would be falling in love with me like that?
That's true, I guess.
I don't really care about the kind of personality she has, as long as she's madly in love with me and willing to marry right now. That's all that matters to me. I haven't even had to lie to her any yet, and things have been going great so far.
You haven't lied to her yet? Then what's this about you owning and running your own company right now? You haven't told her that all you're doing is wearing a suit outside the house to make it seem like you're going to work, when you're really just going to play the slots? And what about you thinking of me as the parasite?
Okay, fine. Those are the only lies I've told. But besides that, I've been honest to her.
Well, these 3 lies you've told her are enough to make you a dang good lying bastard. Jesus, man. You are, for a lack of better words, my older brother still, right? How about you pull yourself together and do things the right way?
Well, I'm not related to you by blood or anything, so why does it matter what I do? You have all your crap together, huh? I'm very jealous of that.
But you could pull yourself together as well right now, and that's all I'm wanting out of you. You are far too old now to still be treating life like a game, Brendan. How about you start taking some things a bit more seriously? Please.
Are you done? In this world, there are the people that work really hard and the people that don't put any effort in at all. You are one of those people that put all their effort into everything, and that'll never change. However, I'm not that kind of person. No matter how much I want to try my best, I just can't. That's not the man I am. Every time I think about doing my best, I end up at the casino.
I think you're just seriously addicted to gambling and could have that fixed if you started to get help for it. But instead, you're just going around lying to others about yourself and about the kind of person I am in the family. What do you think you're doing, Brendan? You're making me look bad.
But Sydney, what would happen if Brianna stopped loving me? The only way that I can keep her around is by making myself look good and making you look like a lowlife. It seems that Brianna was never really into you from the start, so giving her a reason not to be really earns me some brownie points with her.
I can't believe you. What do you think you're actually doing, making up so many lies that you're even messing with my life now?
Oh, if you'd like, you could take a try at my life and find out.
No, thank you. Hey, you've called me over 300 times now, Brianna. Would you cut it out already? It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I got so many calls from you that by the time I actually woke up to go and silence my phone, it died. I had to keep calling because you wouldn't answer your phone sooner. You need to get over to this wedding right now. Huh? Why should I have to do that? You were telling me before that I was definitely not invited to or allowed at your wedding, right? I get that, but things have changed drastically. There are so many people here that want to meet with you right now. I started off by telling them all you went missing and couldn't be found, but that only made them more upset with me, and now they are asking over and over again why you're not here.
Huh? You told him I went missing. Why would you give him that reason for me not being there?
I couldn't just tell him you weren't invited to the wedding today because you're not a part of our family. Now could I? The only thing I could say was that I invited you, but you never showed up and wouldn't answer your phone.
Are you daft? If that was how you were going to handle this, you were better off never telling me not to come out in the first place.
What kind of person are you to these people? Why are there so many people here right now that want to meet with you today?
Well, that's because I just so happen to be the CEO of the company that Brendan works at.
What?
And I'm going to assume that those people that want to meet with me today are people like my customers or colleagues. All you needed to say to them was that I wasn't coming today. Yet instead, you made it sound like something serious happened to me by saying I'd gone missing. No wonder they are all upset now.
I told you I had no other choice, all right? All I could say to them is that you were invited here today but never showed up.
But there was no reason for you to say that I became a missing person, Brianna. Why didn't you lie and say I felt sick today, or that I had something come up which caused me to stay home?
Shut up already. Who do you think you are making fun of me right now, you stranger?
Then stop talking to a stranger like that and put down your damn phone. That's it. No more. I'm going back to bed now, so good night.
Hold on a second. Hey, are you kidding me? Are you really the CEO? Sydney? Hey!
What? God damn, yes, I am the CEO. If you think that I'm lying to you about that, then take a look at the company's homepage and see who it is. Both a picture of me and my name are on there at the bottom of the homepage.
No way. You weren't kidding. What? Why? Why did you never tell me anything about the fact that you're the CEO and not Brendan?
I like to think that I did tell you before, but you never give a damn about what anybody else says to you besides Brendan.
No, what? Are you serious? By the way, the fact that Brendan lied to me about this is even more strange, right? Why would he do that? Right now, I have no idea why this has all happened.
Tell me, what is Brendan doing right now?
Well, I'm in the changing room right now hiding, so I'm not sure what all is going on out there right now. God, what should I do right now?
Well, for starters, you need to go out there and tell everyone that I have not gone missing or anything like that, okay? Ugh, damn it, now you've really gone and screwed things up for me, Brianna.
But wait, don't make it sound like I went and lied to everyone, all right?
Huh?
Yeah, sure. I did lie about how you went missing and all that. Hence why you didn't come to my wedding today. But I never did that with the intent of making you look bad, as it was all just one big misunderstanding on my part. You make up some kind of reason for me, like that you forgot to tell me where you were, and that you never said anything about not coming to my wedding today.
In other words, you want me to take the blame for your actions? Are you being serious right now?
Well, if you don't do that, then everyone is going to call me a liar. This is my wedding of all things, and I do not want to be seen as a liar. This all happened because of you anyway.
I'm sorry, but after that crappy comment about me, I'm going to tell everyone the truth.
Huh? If you do that, you'll be screwing me over. What would happen if that caused Brendan to start to hate me? He already seems really angry with me right now.
I have no reason to just sit around doing as you say, when you're the one stirring up trouble right now and asking me to help you. Also, I'm sure that Brendan's not angry at you, so you don't have to be worried about him right now.
Hey, please, do not tell anyone the truth about this.
Sorry, but I have to. Unlike you, I don't want to be a liar and will not lower my standards down to yours for your sake.
Hey, come on now, please. Hey, Brendan, I am so sorry. I somehow made a very huge mistake. A misunderstanding. I made some kind of a huge misunderstanding. No matter what Sydney has to say about it, know that this was all just one big misunderstanding.
Are you talking about how she's gone missing and can't be found?
Yes, but in reality, she's just been at home sleeping. She had never actually gone missing. Rather, she just never answered any of my calls. I'm really sorry that this has all led to so many of the guests here today getting all upset.
Don't worry about it. If she wasn't able to answer all of your calls this morning, then there was no other option but to assume she'd gone missing. Just forget about it now, and let's get back to having this really wonderful wedding.
Brendan, I am so happy to hear that from you. You really are the most kind man ever.
No matter what happens to you and I will always love and care for you. Which means with you, no matter what happens to us, please always love me.
Of course, no matter what happens, I'll always love you. I'm serious when I say that too, Brendan. Very, very serious.
Brianna, I love hearing that from you. Thank you so much. To be blessed with such a lovely woman as you right now, I must be the luckiest man in the world.
That's how I feel right now, Brendan. So no matter what happens to you or I will always, always, always love you. I swear to God.
Thank you, Brianna. Then it really is a promise. Do not break that promise, okay? We cannot do that after today, that's for sure.
I have no reason to ever break a promise as strong as love. And even if I wanted to break it, I never would be able to. And that's because I love you with every bit of my heart.
Brianna.
Hey! What is all of this about?
I told you what I was doing before, right? That I would be telling everyone the whole truth about everything. I was never going to listen to you by lying to all of those people.
I don't care about what you were saying before. Honestly, I don't even care if most of the guests that came here hate me now, because I'll always have Brendan's love.
Is that right? What a beautiful love you both share then. Then why are you getting so upset with me again?
I just listened to what all of the guests were talking about amongst each other. About how Brendan went and quit his job at the company, and that he never had any relationship with the company besides just being the CEO's older brother.
Ah, so you overheard all of that.
And that's not the only thing I heard. I also heard about how after he left the company, he started to get into gambling, and that right now he's in some very serious debt. You made up all those lies in order to make my Brendan look bad in front of everyone here, didn't you?
Brianna, I really want to ask you to do one thing for me. I know it's going to be difficult for you, but hear me out. I want you to calm down and listen to what I'm about to say to you. All of those things you overheard are true.
No way in hell they are. You're trying to get me to believe that a man as perfect as him would be in major debt right now because of gambling? No matter how I think that could happen to him, there's just no way.
Brendan has another person that he's been hiding from you behind his mask. Well, he only uses that mask with you. But with everyone else, the real Brendan is the person he shows to the world. He is a man that went and left his job that I secured for him to start gambling. And after months of it and becoming seriously addicted to the game, started to go into some bad debt.
I just told you that those are all lies you made about him to make him look bad. I don't care that I was the first to lie, but the way you've lied is by far the worst. Are you not ashamed of yourself?
I have not been lying about anything, Brianna. All I've said was the truth and nothing but the truth. Brendan is really that person. Go and talk with everyone there to see what they have to say about him.
Shut your mouth already. I will not allow lies like those to continue to spread.
Hey, are you done yet? I get that you don't want to believe me here, but if you really do go into that marriage thinking he's the man that he said he is, you'll be getting seriously screwed over. It'll be too late for you to do anything about him, and you'll live the rest of your life in regret. Is that what you want to happen?
No, Brendan could never. He can't be.
You can run from reality all you want to, but I think you need to think about the consequences of doing such a thing first. I think deep down you already know the truth, that being what I've told you about Brendan today.
I know how to prove to you that you lied. I'm going to show you through Brendan himself that he's not the lowlife that you've made him out to be.
Okay, go ahead and try. I hope you'll learn the truth along the way.
Brendan, I'm in real shock right now. There's no way you've been hiding all those things from me this whole time, right?
What? I'm sorry, you're mistaken. I have been gambling all this time for your sake, Brianna. Sometimes I'll hit some massive jackpots, and I thought that by getting a couple of those, I'd be getting enough money to treat you to whatever you want. I felt that instead of working at a company where I was making okay money, it'd be a lot faster for me to just bet some money and have a chance at hitting some jackpots.
What? Then you seriously? What Sydney was saying about you lying to me was true?
Did she tell you about me? There's no way.
No. I never thought that this whole time you, of all people, would be lying to me, Brendan. then that means everything Sydney said about you having quit your job and becoming addicted to gambling is true? And that must mean you're in some serious debt now as well.
Brianna, you are still madly in love with me, right? And also, just a little bit ago, you and I made a promise to one another that we'd be in love with each other forever, right? No matter what happens between you and I, we'd still love one another, right?
No thank you, Brendan.
What?
No freaking thanks. What the hell is wrong with you? I cannot forgive you for what you've done. What the hell were you thinking lying to me about all of that just to trick me into marrying you?
What was I just thought you were my only chance, and that I couldn't let a chance like you slip through my fingers. Also, your family happens to have a lot of money, so I felt that I was winning the jackpot with you, and that I'd never have to worry about money for the rest of my life.
Stop being so straight about it all, you asshole. Why, Brendan? You are a completely different person from the Brendan I grew to love.
But I never lied about coming from an elite university, and for a little bit I did experience running a portion of Sydney's company. I just ended up not being very good at it, so I had to be taken away from the position. But that still does not change the fact that I'm an elite.
You failed at that position, which means you're going to be a failure at everything else. I don't care that you went to some elite university back in the day, because look at yourself now. You're anything but elite. I'm going to make sure that you pay for this whole waste of time wedding you lied to me in order to have today.
What? But you promised me that no matter what, you'd still love me.
Who the hell would want to love a lying asshole like you?
Sounds like somehow you managed to get your wedding canceled. That's great for you now, right? You were able to take care of things before that lying jerk took hold of you for good.
Huh? Because of all this, I no longer have anybody around me that is willing to trust what I say to them. Since you never played along with me and lied about the fact that I lied to everyone about you having gone missing, my parents are no longer going to trust me. They told me that they're disowning me now too. I'm being told to go live on my own now.
Well, this is the perfect chance for you to finally stop sucking on your mother and start a life of your own, right?
I have not been working a job at all. How am I supposed to start a life of my own now? And since I'm no longer getting married to Brendan, I'll no longer have a place to call my home. I've also been told that I have to pay half of this damn wedding off. All of this is completely screwed up and not fair.
Had you just been a bit nicer of a person, perhaps I'd be okay with you making yourself out to be the victim in all of this. Had you just refrained from digging into me for not being related to Brendan by blood.
I have learned my lesson from then now, so you need to go and talk to everyone out of abandoning me. Tell them all that I've learned my lesson and will never lie or treat anyone poorly ever again.
You seem to really enjoy the accessibility of lying there, Brianna. Are you sure you wouldn't have made an amazing couple with Brendan? Well, anyway, I don't have any reason to be helping you now. So with that, goodbye forever.
Hold it right there! Please, listen to me.
I'm sorry, but my parents told me not to talk to strangers. Like you. So, what are you going to be doing from here on out?
My only chance to get married to someone from money has been wasted and left me. I don't really have any reason to try working a serious job again to pay off my debts. I'm going to just have to get back to gambling again and hope for a major win.
I really think you need to stop that gambling nonsense right now, Brendan. Also, you're going to have to pay a certain amount for the wedding too, right?
Even if I have to go into a bit more debt so that I can pay the bill, it won't make a difference for me because I'm already in tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt.
I can't believe you're just okay with all of that.
I'm used to the heat of hell. I've heard that Brianna ended up becoming disowned by her family and will have to finally stand on her 2 feet in order to live. She'll probably end up the kind of person I've become, right?
Well, neither of you really matter to me.
Sydney, because I had lied about you before, I'm sure you hold a pretty big grudge against me now, right? But forget about it. I'm already living in hell, so there's no point in trying to get back at me any. Right now, I can't be damaged any more than I already am.
I know that already, but I don't have any grudges against you, so don't worry yourself with that. However, I won't be taking care of you anymore. so you'll have to figure things out on your own now.
What? Are you serious? Dang it. Then what should I do when I start to get hungry?
You'll have to take some more damage. After that, chaos called a wedding was over with. Brianna was forced out into the real world by her parents. They told her that she was no longer a part of their family and that it would be useless for her to try asking any of her aunts and uncles or her grandparents for anything, as they were all told about what happened and agreed that she did not deserve them. From there, it took her a week to cope with all that had actually gone down, and by the time she realized she was going to have to figure something out, she was down 20 pounds and very weak. She was somehow able to find herself a really, really cheap apartment while struggling with all that hunger, and a part-time job as well that she'd have to work overnight. Of course, being a little girl from a family with lots of wealth, having to live in such a dirty, small apartment while working part-time all night long had become hard for her. She would end up breaking down a lot at her job, which luckily was just working in a warehouse, so she wasn't troubling too many people with her screaming and whining. And after a couple of weeks of trying to deal with what life is like for most normal people, she began to think of ways to save herself from the dull life she's found herself in. So, in a last-ditch effort to try and get her life of having all the money she ever wanted back, she gave Brendan a call and got herself into gambling alongside him. Brendan was so excited to hear from her again, but when she told him she had no money anymore, he told her she could join him and increase his chances of winning. Right now, she's going with Brendan to all the most shady of casinos, trying her best with Brendan to score the big jackpot that will be able to free them both from a life of poverty. I'm sure that someone like Brendan is glad to have her back at his side, but she's going to end up rotting in the hell that he's grown so accustomed to. But let's be real here. Most of the places they are going to now to gamble are the kind of places that won't just let you get away with using borrowed money very often. So when one of those shady casinos realizes they aren't really able to pay to play, I don't think we'll be hearing about those two ever again. Honestly, I'm so happy that the day of that wedding was the last time I ever had a talk with those two, and I no longer have to worry about them reaching out to me. I plan to move forward from all of what happened, forgetting about the both of them, so that I can continue to focus on my company and the future ahead of me. Julissa, do you mind sending in your report from your most recent business trip, please?
What? I'm just heading out of the office right now, though.
I understand that, Julissa, but if you don't hand in that report by the end of today, then you're not going to be in compliance.
What a pain in the ass.
All I'm asking you to do is send in that report by email and nothing else. Nothing about it should be that difficult for someone like you, right?
Sure. I get what you're saying. I'll work on sending the report in now.
What is this?
Like you were asking me for. The report from my business trip.
No, because this isn't even a document, first of all. This is a picture you sent me, right? And from the looks of it, it seems to be a picture from you on your day off. I'm assuming that man next to you is a department manager. I'm sorry, but I did not ask you to send in a picture of you and your father together on your day off.
Hold on. What I sent you is correct. That's a picture of me while I was on the business trip.
What? But this picture, it's a picture of you and the department manager together at some kind of theme park somewhere, having fun with one another, right?
That's right. Is there some kind of problem here?
There is a very big problem now, Julissa. Do you have any idea what you were chosen to go on that business trip for?
Of course I know why. It was a business trip intended to refresh me before I came back home, right?
Nobody ever said you were going on that trip to do such a thing. You went out there to get work done for this company, correct? Does this mean that for the past week you've been gone, you've been playing nonstop and doing nothing you were told to do?
That does seem to be the case.
I cannot believe this, Julissa. Listen here. You have always had a rather bad attitude for someone your age, but I never expected that you'd get even worse the longer you worked here.
Excuse me, but are you trying to preach about my attitude right now? You really are the most annoying coworker ever, aren't you, Jill? Do you have something against me for some reason or another?
I would never have something against you. I have just been left in charge of making sure that you are trained appropriately and that you understand everything you are supposed to be doing here, which is one of the reasons I may seem to be a bit annoying.
I'll send you one other picture as well now.
This one seems to have been taken inside of a really fancy-looking hotel.
That's the hotel I've been staying in for my business trip, Jill.
You're lying. Just based off this picture, something tells me the hotel wasn't cheap at all.
Do you actually understand what kind of a hotel this is? This is a 5-star resort that I stayed at, which costs close to $1,000 every night.
$1,000 a night? You stayed at a place like this during your business trip? Weren't you asked to only stay at an economy hotel while you were away?
The thing is, I'm not going to be staying in some cheap old economy hotel like the company asked me to.
But that's a rule for all the employees of this company, so that there is no overspending while you're away. If you were using your own money to pay for the stay, then you can go wherever you please. But when it comes to a business trip for this company, you have to abide by the expenses. You used the company's money for that, didn't you? In other words, you used the company's money to put yourself in a very expensive hotel for a full week, right? Do you understand how much of a problem that is?
Yes, I do. If anybody else were to do something like I did while on a business trip, they'd be getting yelled at nonstop.
What makes you think you're different from the rest of the employees here?
Well, my dad happens to be a department leader for this company. His name is known by everyone within the company, and he has given a lot for it as well. That means the company's money can be used however we want to use it.
And so just as I thought, your father has been playing a big part in your business trips as well.
Man, being able to stay a full week in a 5-star hotel where I can just go out and play all the time for work is the best. Hey, business trips like this are really fun. I'm going to go next week as well, I think.
You're not allowed to go on them every week. Also, you using the company's money like that is not a good thing for anyone here.
You think I care about how it affects the rest of you? Do you have any idea how much my dad and I have given to this company?
If you're only speaking about your father, I know that he's given quite a bit. But when it comes to you, you're barely out of training and have not done any real work for the company yet.
Shut the hell up! I want to be on another one of those business trips pronto, so you give me one soon. That is your job for me, buddy.
Jill, I've heard about everything. You were able to acquire another major contract for the company, right?
Ah, that's correct. But that didn't happen just because of my own work. The contract was acquired based off the presentation that so many of the people here had worked on.
Come on now, you were the leader of that group and managed everyone in a way that led to such an outcome. Had I had someone else in charge, this sort of an outcome would have never came about for the company.
You really think so?
You are a really important asset to this company, Jill. To all of us here, you're a treasure that none of us can afford to ever lose.
No, wait. I can't be one of the most important people in this company. The only reason I've been working so hard to be successful here is as a thank you for allowing me to become an employee of the company.
Hearing you say something like that about your work ethic only makes me happy to have you here.
But really, there was never any other companies willing to hire me based off the fact that I never went to high school. I will never forget the gratitude I have for this company. Ever.
To myself and the rest of the company, your education means nothing to us anymore due to all the things you have done so far for us. I'm sure if you graduated high school and then went on to a university somewhere, you would be one of the most important workers to any company right now. But thankfully, that never happened, and we were able to hire you before anyone else could.
Although, it would have been nice for me to have gone to college somewhere at least.
Well, when it boils down to how you feel about your past, I'm sure you regret some things still. But we all had to start somewhere, right? And no matter where you ended up finishing your education at, you will still be the bright young woman you are right now.
Thank you so much for saying that. I really love the work I'm doing here, and I never plan on leaving the company anytime soon.
With how well you've done so far and all the work you continue to do for the company, it's crazy that you even wanted to start training some of the new hires. I'm a bit worried about your health, actually.
There is no issues with my health right now. Everyone that I've had the pleasure of working with so far has been very understanding, and because of that, I haven't had many issues at all.
Is that right? Is that right?
But there is one person I'd like to talk with you about.
I see. Well, tell me what you like too.
This has to do with Jalissa.
Jalissa? Ah, she's the daughter of the sales department manager, correct? I'd known about her before she even started working for this company. Her father loves to brag about how much of an excellent worker she really is. What kind of things do you have to say about her?
Well, Jalissa recently went on a business trip for the sales department, and it turns out there was a big problem that came up.
Are you serious?
I am. There are some things I'd like for you to have a look at, so I'll send them your way right now.
Jill, when is my next business trip going to be? I am really looking forward to it right now and can't keep myself still.
Listen, Jalissa, I told you before, didn't I? You won't be going on as many business trips as you want to think. When there is a point in time when someone needs to go, I'll let you know.
Hey, I can't just sit around waiting for you to come and tell me something. If you don't start giving me them every week, then I'm not going to have anything to do here.
If you feel like you won't have anything to do, then how about you start working on all those documents you have piling up on your desk? If you start taking time to complete all of those, then I'm sure your next business trip will come in no time.
Stop talking to me like I'm some kind of child still. Are you trying to make fun of me right now or something?
That wasn't my plan at all when saying that. If that offended you at all, I'm sorry. Now, I happen to have a lot of work of my own to get back to now, which means that I can't sit around all day talking with you and trying to find another business trip for you to go on.
Listen, I'm going to make it very clear here the kind of position that you're in. I'm not sure what you are besides a coworker who's been here longer than me. But in this company, I'm in a higher position than you.
What do you mean by that? I'm the one who has been here far longer, with more promotions under my belt.
And I'm the daughter of this department's manager. That means that I sit in a higher position in this company than a base-level employee like you.
Your father being a manager doesn't mean that at all for you. Even if your father has done a lot for this company, that does not mean the same thing for you either.
Then allow me to go and tell my dad that you're picking on me right now. I won't listen to a word I'm saying. When that happens, you're going to be fired from this company before you know it.
Wait, you shouldn't do that. If I'm fired from this company, what am I going to do?
Ha! What a sad loser you are. If you don't want to lose your one and only job, then you listen to every word that comes out of my mouth. You get me another business trip to go on right now. I want it to be close to here, and near that amusement park that's just on the other side of this state. That'll do.
But that would mean you're going to go and stay at another 5-star hotel for a week doing nothing at all, right?
Well, of course that's what I'm going to do.
Listen, Jalissa, when it comes to the business trip expenses, those all come out of the company, right? The money also happens to be yours and my paycheck. Using it all like that on yourself for a business trip where you're not achieving anything for the company at all is wrong.
I don't really care. All of that money you guys plan on making this year is all mine to spend. You all start to work harder and harder so that I can live an even more affluent life in luxury. That's it. I'm going to use the company's money to go to a really expensive restaurant as well next time. I have a place that I've been really wanting to go to for some time now.
You really shouldn't go out doing things like that with this company's money.
I don't care if this is wrong or right to you. My dad and I are on a completely different level, which means the company will forgive us.
If you start doing things like spending the company's money on yourself more often, I'm not going to let you get away with anything you've already done.
Hey, when the hell are you going to be giving me another business trip to go on? You pull yourself together right now and get that crap done for me.
About that, Jalissa. I was about to tell you that next week, you'll be going on another business trip for the company.
Well, you're not pulling my finger right now, are you? If you already had that on your mind, you should have told me about that right away. The place had better have a 5-star hotel in the area, or else I'm not going to be staying there for a week. Also, if the place is far enough away where I'll need to fly, get me a first-class seat on the plane. And if you're making me take a train, I'd like to be in first class on that as well.
You really think you're going to be treated like a VIP on a business trip?
I sure do. I mean, I am the company's VIP after all, right?
I see. I'll make sure you're treated as such then.
That would be so helpful. Thank you. Now that I have a business trip coming up to prepare myself for, I'm going to have to leave work early today.
What? Hold on a minute, Jalissa. Your business trip isn't until next week, right?
If I don't start getting prepared for it now, though, I won't be ready for it in time. Can you please make sure to go and tell my dad while I'll be gone? And as for all the things I was supposed to do today, you're going to finish them up yourself, right?
I understand. Good luck on your business trip starting today, okay? I made sure to put the description of the location you'll be going to in an email I just sent you. So please, give it a read through before you go.
Sure. I'll make sure to do that.
And, unlike last time, make sure you get all the work you've been asked to do done for the company, please.
Jesus, you're so annoying. I already told you, sure thing.
Then, you have a good trip.
Man, I'm so excited to see what kind of a 5-star hotel or resort I'll be staying in this time.
5-star hotel or resort.
What's wrong? Why are you questioning that like there's a problem?
What are you talking about right now? You're only staying at an economy hotel that's $30 a night for the next week.
Huh? What do you mean by that? I made sure to tell you to get me a place where I'd be able to stay in a 5-star hotel for the next week. We'll also be able to go to an amusement park, Jill. I told you that, right?
Yes, you did. I even went and talked with my boss about that. And you know what they said? They said that that wasn't going to be happening for you. But of course, that's the only natural response from someone like them. You're not going on a business trip to have fun and play around with the company's money. Which means you're not going to be getting put up inside of a 5-star hotel for one whole week.
Huh? So you're saying you didn't listen to what I told you to do for me?
I wasn't the one that made the final decision on your trip there. That's up to my boss and the rest of the people around me. But if you go ahead and pay out of your own pocket to stay at a 5-star hotel out there, then there is no problem at all with that. How about you do that if you want to live fancy?
Why would I have to be paying out of my own pocket for a 5-star hotel during this business trip? This is a job that I'm doing for the company, right?
If you're not going to pay for a more expensive hotel while I'm on a trip, then suck it up and deal with the one we got for you.
Stop playing around with me, Jill. You think I'm going to forgive you for doing something like this to me, of all people? Have you talked with my dad at all about any of this?
As a matter of fact, your father happened to be really busy at the time, and so I was never able to tell him anything about your business trip. So this trip that you're on right now was put together by the section manager.
You went and avoided my dad on purpose, didn't you? If this trip was planned out by my dad, then I'd be allowed to stay in whatever place I want.
I did not avoid your father when getting you that trip you asked for. He was really busy at the time, and so I had no choice but to go to my own boss with it.
You're a liar! Knowing the kind of gross woman that you are, you probably went and tattled on me to the section manager, all because you hate me.
I didn't tattle on you about anything. Rather, I just spoke to them about the kind of work you wanted to do, as your mentor, per se.
So, you were confessing to having done all of this out of spite?
Where did you pull that kind of idea out of? I never did any of this out of spite, Jalissa.
Nope. I know what you're doing here. You're going around doing all kinds of things to piss me off, in order to get me to leave the company for you and everything.
I am not doing anything like that right now. Right now, you're just imagining things to make yourself out like the victim.
No, I'm not. I'm not imagining anything because for so long now, every single day I've come into work, you've been over there preaching to me about my job here like you're better than me.
The only reason I've been trying to lecture you some is because your work ethic and attitude here is not acceptable.
Then why has my dad been praising me and bragging about me the whole time I've been here? My dad has told me again and again that I can do anything for this company and can be relied on all the time.
That's only because you're his daughter, of all people.
Stop lying to me about every little thing. I'm going to tell all of the higher-ups about what you're doing to me right now.
Well, if you go trying to talk with your father about this, you're going to have a hard time getting him to listen. He has both of his hands full at the moment.
I happen to be an old friend of the executive director here, so I'll go directly to him about everything you've done. I'll let him know that you've been harassing me the whole time I've been in this company.
He has no reason at all to believe what you're about to say.
Nope. Him and I have known one another for the longest time now, so he's going to believe me no matter what you have to say to him about it, And once he's heard everything from me, he's going to have you fired. Well, you still have time. I get to work packing all your things up and heading out the office doors. Mr. Tom, could you please listen to me for a minute?
If it isn't you, Jalissa, what would you like to tell me about?
Actually, right now I'm in a bit of a pickle.
What happened that got you into such a situation?
Today, I was supposed to go out on a business trip and all. However, the hotel I should have been staying at isn't that.
The hotel isn't the one you were expecting? Do you know why it was changed like that on you?
It was changed out of spite for me. Ever since I came into this company, I've been getting harassed by a coworker of mine.
Wait, who's the one harassing you right now?
Jill. She is always going on about how she's just trying to train me, but I know without a doubt that all her lecturing and preaching is out of spite.
So Jill's been doing that?
She also told me to go on this business trip, but as I was leaving and took a look at my email about the trip's details, I realized the hotel was not the place I had asked for. I am tired of being harassed by her all the time like this. You go and do something about all of this right now, Mr. Tom.
Could you please tell me what hotel you were set up with for your business trip?
What? It's a $30 a night economy hotel.
And what was the hotel you requested to be given to you stay at?
Just your average hotel.
You're wrong about that, Jalissa. You asked for Jill to get you into a hotel that costs close to $1,000 a night for the whole week, right?
What?
And because this time things didn't go the way you had asked them to go, you're going to label her as having harassed you, right? You are far too old now to be acting like a middle schooler, right? What do you think you're trying to do here?
How come you know about that, Mr. Tom?
Because I received a message from Jill about this.
The bitch! Mr. Tom, that is a complete and total lie she told you. I would never ask to be put in a place like that for a week. Please don't be fooled by that bitch's lies.
What do you think you're doing calling Jill a bitch right now? And furthermore, what do you think you're doing calling her a liar?
Mr. Tom, the Jill is nothing more than an uneducated freak, right? She never even graduated from high school, which means that for a person of her low class, she feels completely fine lying about everything in order to make others go through hell. I'm sure she's just jealous of the fact that I was born as the daughter of a manager in as high of a position as my dad.
You cut that crap out right now, Missy. The only reason she never graduated from high school was due to her family situation at the time.
What? Is that so?
It is. And the reason she ever ended up coming up here to work for this company was because she wanted to send her little brother through college. She had been working her butt off for years in order to do such a thing for him. And not only that, but Jill in general was a really important asset to this company. Having completed so many contracts for this company, achieving so much, she's trusted by everyone in this company. And if she's to continue working at the rate she has been, there's a really good chance of being made a manager herself in the next year or two. Hearing that the Jill I know and the rest of this company trust is jealous of you and wants to harass you is something I can't trust for a second.
But I have really been...
Now, could you please tell me what hotel it was you stayed at on your previous business trip?
Wait, about that trip.
During that trip, you stayed at a very expensive hotel for a week, doing nothing at all for the company before coming back home, right?
Mr. Tom?
You're going to cry out that that's a lie as well now? I happen to have photos of you out about having a good time during that trip, as well as the receipts for the hotel and everything you stayed at.
But about all of that...
Shut it! There are no more excuses for what you've been up to. I'm going to take care of this problem right now for the company. You seem to think that all of this harassment coming from her, but Jill is not the kind of woman who would put her own career on the line over someone like you. She happens to really love this company and will do anything to make sure she does a good job and helps the company out. Even if you are the daughter of one of the managers here, she does not care that you have been making her out as some kind of monster who you now want me to have fired. I'm not letting you get away with that kind of behavior anymore.
Damn it! Now I'm in trouble with the executive director as well.
Don't you say that like it's all my fault. You were the one asking for him to become upset with you. Also, you went and used a business trip to go and spend the company's money on an expensive hotel and a trip to the amusement park. So of course, him and a lot of other higher-ups are going to be angry, right?
I'm not going to listen to any of your preaching anymore.
I see. Well, to be honest, I don't care about listening to me anymore. For now, just make sure to get your work done this time while on that business trip. And, just so I don't forget, I'm sending you all your paperwork and everything now for the job.
Huh? What the hell is all of this crap? I have to get all of this crap done while I'm out here before coming back?
That's right.
Stop screwing around right now, you bitch. This right here has to be you harassing me.
It's not harassment, Jalissa. That's just the amount of work someone in your position has to do.
How the hell is that so?
Because the last time you were away on a business trip for the company, you didn't do jack squat, right? So that amount of paperwork is in your workload as well this time.
Huh? Last time's work.
That's right. We here have to make sure that you not only get your work done for this trip, but also all the work you never attended to last trip as well.
Wait a second. That place is different from this place though, right?
Yes, it is. And that is why, once you're finished up with your work here this week, you're then going to be going to the town you were at last time to do the job you were supposed to have done before.
You're kidding me, right?
I'm not, though. But don't you worry, because we made sure to get you a hotel out there for the week as well. It's another one of those cheap places we've set you up with. Only this time, it's an old motel worth $15 a night. Isn't that great?
I already told you that I'm not going to stay in either of these super cheap hotels or motels or whatever you want to call them.
Well, you don't have to worry about sleeping in then, because you will have a lot of work to be getting done in the weeks ahead. That might be more than 8 hours a day can handle.
That means the company is bad as a whole then. I'm not going to accept any of this.
There's no other choice for you though. You're going to have to make up for all the work you didn't do the last time you were sent on a business trip.
Are
you really saying all of this to me? What else would I be saying right now? I get that all of this is pretty harsh for you, but you were the one that did everything that resulted in this outcome, right? You were also the one who asked over and over again to go on another business trip. And you were the one that didn't do their work last time. So what makes you think you can continue to cry and whine about being a victim right now? Shut the hell up! Shut the hell up! I'm going to tell my dad about all of this crap. And what do you think that's going to accomplish for you? Once I've gone and told my dad about what you're doing to me, he'll be able to have you fired for me. I'm really sorry to have to break this to you, but that's never going to happen. It sure is going to happen. No matter how busy you may say that he is, when he gets a text or call from me, he's going to answer. That's not what I'm talking about. Your father's already been fired. What the hell? What kind of bullcrap lie is that? I'm not lying about that. What I just said about your father is the truth. Then tell me why my dad was fired from the company. He was a department manager of all people. That last business trip you took, your father joined you on, and you both went and used the company's money to stay at that 5-star resort, right? That's right. And him being a manager means that he misappropriated the money. In other words, that's against this company's rules. And in some states, that's even a crime. What? And well, when the company started to investigate your father even more after it was found he'd done that with you, more things came out of the dark. Seems like your father committed a lot of fraud as well. And so, the company is now going to be taking your father to court over everything. Does that mean my dad is going to be placed under arrest? No, I don't think that the police will be coming after him just yet. No way! Also, we have some things that you're going to have to answer for, like the cost of having stayed at that 5-star resort for 1 week, as well as the cost of spending time at that theme park with your father. Wait, just a freaking second! Do you have any idea how much all of that is going to cost in total? You're the one who knows the answer to that one most of all, right? I'm not going to be able to pay all of that off right away. Especially now when my dad of all people who is making way more than me is going to have to go to court. I believe you'll be paying the company back for all of that by having it taken directly out of your salary. If that ends up happening to me, what will happen in my life outside of work? Don't worry, because the company will be offering you a lot of overtime work that you can stay late doing to make that money back more quickly. Think all of that work you slacked off from and never finished when you were supposed to do it before. I know that before you had your father in the office to let you off the hook for just sitting around on your phone all the time. But starting the moment you're back from both of your trips, that's not happening. For about a year, you're going to be putting in close to 80 hours a week for this company. Hey, wait! Could you lay off for just a second? I can't cope with all that you're telling me right now, Jill. Stop crying like a little child. This is all the fruits of your unacceptable labor. So, as an adult woman, suck it up and figure it out. There's no way I can do all of this work on my own. I need to start asking others to help me out with this. There is not a single person in this company who will be assisting you with that workload. Do it all yourself, please.
I made sure to tell the court about what had happened and prepare a hearing for the company.
Is that so? Well, you are going to have to get around to it eventually. Tom, I am so sorry about what's happened. I was supposed to take care of Jalissa the whole time, however.
Don't apologize. The department manager was helping protect her as well the whole time, so there was nothing you could have done to stop her.
I'm sure that's probably true.
If anything, thanks to you being so observant with Jalissa, you were able to get to the bottom of something like that before her and her father took further advantage of the company. Thank you so much, Jill.
I see. Thank you so much. If it has to do with the benefit of my job and this company, I will do anything to make sure it is done.
Thank you for saying that. I really can rely on you for anything. And thankfully, a brand new management position opened up. So, would you mind moving up into it into the near future?
Jalissa was left to enjoy the next 2 weeks working away from home, barely getting any sleep at all on her business trip. At first, she was making her best effort to get all her work done to start making up for all the work she skipped. But over time, she began to go back to her ways of slacking off. And soon after that started to happen again, she was removed from the company and her job was terminated. As for her father, he was asked to come into court to face the company, but ultimately never did, leading to him getting arrested and brought in by the police. His wife, Jalissa's mother, began to lose whatever faith she had left in him then and moved away back to her parents' house. And that left Jalissa at the house all by herself, while her father was still having to go through the court system. He ended up having to pay the company close to $200,000, based off the amount of embezzling he did, and would also have to be placed on parole for a while because of his fraudulent activities as well. When her father did finally end up paying for all he done, he came home and kicked her out of the house, saying he didn't want to see her anymore, where she then went and stayed at a friend's house for a bit. But that only lasted a few weeks, before she got kicked out of there too for complaining all the time about her friend's place not being big enough for her, and was forced to start renting an extremely cheap apartment. She attempted to go out and find another job, but due to her having never worked before in her life, it was a very hard battle for her to come out victorious from. She wasn't even able to use the last company she was at for references, as she was only able to get the job there because of her father, and all of us no longer support her after she was fired. There was never going to be a way for a woman like her to find a job like the one she'd been given and lost before. So, in a last-ditch effort, she went and got a part-time job at a gas station. To this day, she is still in that rundown apartment, trying to live life with whatever money she has left after paying the company and back for all she'd spent. In other words, she's not doing anything else besides working and sleeping. And when it comes to myself, I'm doing the same old, working for the company I love, giving my all. And not too long ago, I was given the position as the sales department manager, after Jalissa's father had been fired along with her, and I've been doing one hell of a good job. Considering that most people like me never get to a position this good, I'm going to make sure that I work even harder to show my appreciation towards Tom and the company as a whole.
I'm going to assume this is your phone number then, Willa? This is Rowan's father, Jeffrey. He gave me your phone number just a little bit ago, and that's why I'm able to text you now. There's something I'd like to ask you right now before you and him get too carried away with wanting to get married. Would you be willing to give me a bit of your time right now?
This is Rowan's dad? Well, you were given the right number because this is indeed me. I'm so happy to finally have a chance to talk with you, though. Go ahead and ask me anything. I hope that whatever it is you may be interested in, I can help you understand.
I heard that you happen to graduate from college and everything like that. Should I believe that to be a fact then?
Yes, you should. I graduated from the University of Michigan, actually, and went there and got a bachelor's, but after graduating, I decided to work in emergency services as an EMT.
I see. Then that should mean there are no issues with your educational background.
I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you're wanting to ask me about today?
How were you raised by your parents before you entered the University of Michigan? Of course, you graduated from high school and everything like that, but what was your GPA coming out of there and what did you score on your SAT?
So you want to know about my education before university as well? When I graduated from high school, I had a GPA of 3.7. But when it came to my SAT, I ended up scoring a 1550 on it first time I took it. That's partially why I was able to get into the university in the first place.
So that would mean you completed all of your studies and were able to put all of the knowledge you learned to the test in order to get into that university?
What do you mean by that? Of course I had to use all the knowledge I had gained from my studies in high school to get into college there. Did you think I had some kind of a connection or something? Nobody in my family had ever been there before me, nor did I have any friends there. The only thing that made me different from a lot of the other students that were accepted is that the high school I went to is managed by the university.
What? So you were bound to be accepted into the university. I wouldn't claim that you got into that school with your own strengths then. There's a chance then that a lot of the people you were going to school with back in high school weren't all too smart. Not something I'd be proud of if I were you.
What? I'm sure that could be true. I'm sorry if I was sounding arrogant in any way there.
So, does that mean you've been going to private schools all your life?
What? Private schools? I'm sorry, but both the elementary school and the middle school that I went to were public. And some could even argue that the high school I was going to was public. I was going to whatever schools were in the town I grew up in at the time.
What? So you're saying you were going to such low-level schools? It's one thing to be proud of the fact that you got to go to the University of Michigan for 4 years and graduate from there, but if your time in primary school was all spent in a public school, I can't believe you would be all right saying something like that to me.
Is going to public school back then really something to be surprised about?
In other words, your parents didn't have enough money to send you to a private school. Or could it be that you weren't smart enough for those schools?
Hold on. Back in the town where I was from, there was no private schools besides the Catholic school, but I didn't really need to go there back then. Actually, the public school system in that town is rated as one of the top public school systems in the state. And everyone from there all went to the same schools together. We all stuck together from elementary school all the way to high school. That was normal for us. And I kind of thought going to public school was a normal thing for everyone.
I see. So that's the kind of family and town you were raised in. Are you still living together with the both of your parents right now?
No, actually, when I started to go to college, I began living on my own. And I started to go out with your son not too long after, when one of our friends introduced us to one another. Since we've both been pretty far away from you and your wife, Rowan has never really been able to show me to either one of you. And, well, now that we're out of school and engaged to each other, we thought it was time for me to finally go out and meet with you. Hence why we made the plans for me to come with him to your guys' house, which I'm very excited about, since that'll be in a few days.
Is that right? Well, considering that you did graduate from a university that's pretty well known and are currently working for a company that's also pretty well known, I'll allow you to come over to our house and see my wife and I. But there are some things about you that I can't quite lay my finger on just yet. I have a lot more that I'd like to talk with you about when you come to see us, so make sure you're ready for some long discussions with my wife and I.
Okay, I'll make sure to get some rest then. I look forward to seeing both you and your wife in a few days.
You really make such big deals out of nothing. A little bit over-dramatic, are we? All I did was give you a soft punch and you've had to run off and hide in the bathroom? I knew that a woman such as yourself would not be fit for a son like mine.
That was a soft punch to you? My jaw is completely stiff now, and there's a massive gash on the inside of my cheek. There is still a bunch of blood coming out of my mouth, and the pain is really radiating into my skull. Why would you do something like this?
Why would I? I'm sure you already know why, right? You think I was going to let my son, the son of a family of well-renowned police officers, marry a disgraceful, motherless child?
I can't believe you'd say that. My dad has done everything he could to make sure that I was raised just like everyone else who has their mom still. I don't think you should be talking poorly about either one of us.
Is it painful for you to be punched? Are you going to cry and whine about how it was unfair of me to punch you like that? Go ahead, give your worthless father a call and bring him out here. Cry, Papa! Papa, help me! Tell him that you're in trouble with the police now.
Is that what you'd like me to do? So be it. I guess I will give my dad a call. I'll make sure that he makes an example out of you, Jeffrey.
Oh, go ahead and call his ass out here right now. I bet all he's good at is using his body to work some kind of labor-intensive job, right? Does he even have a brain up there? Go ahead, have him come out here, because I want to see what kind of muscular dumbass your father is. Just make sure he knows, the moment he even tries to inflict any violence towards me, he's gonna get shot.
I think you should cut the childish behavior of looking down on others like that out right now.
What just happened there? I am so sorry about. I never thought that your father would end up being the chief of the state police.
I told your husband what would happen, that my dad would be coming out here to make a very good example out of him. Sure, my dad may be very large and muscular, but thankfully these days he's a bit more relaxed after having left the military. But did you guys not stop to think that perhaps my dad was the real deal and could actually do something about your husband's actions?
I didn't think your father would be. I didn't think that the chief of the state police would be coming to our house today. As part of our family of renowned police officers, I am so happy to have him here. And thinking now that the daughter of the chief of the state police will be getting married to our son, and now that both my husband and I are aware of who your father is, we have no problem with you marrying our son. Please, tell your father that we are looking forward to seeing him again and talking more in depth about your guys' marriage.
Amanda, I don't understand how you can say such a thing like that now, after your husband just got taken away by the state police. Just as my dad said, all of your family who are working for the city's police force will now be relieved of your duties and forced to find other work. Do you understand what that means for you, Amanda? That means you can no longer sit there acting as though you're tough crap, just because some of your family has been on the city's police force all their life.
I'm sure that we could do something. What my husband did to you, punching you in the face, was his fault, as he didn't consult with anyone else before doing such a thing. The rest of us have nothing to do with his choices, so please, don't let your father do this to us. To have all of us fired together like that, please tell me that he was just joking about all of that.
You're making it look like the family never cared for your husband at all and are completely fine with tossing him out. But I saw everything, Amanda. The rest of you didn't step in to do anything about your husband when he struck me. You all just stood back and watched it happen. And you, Amanda, you stood there smiling and laughing through your nose. And when I hit the ground and let out a scream, you started to laugh even more before realizing that the blood from inside my mouth was falling onto your carpet. Then you began to yell at me, not your husband, about the blood staining your precious carpeting. And what was it you said before I ran off? Don't stain my carpet with your dirty low-life blood. You were the one that said that to me as I scrambled back up and ran off. And as I wobbled left to right trying to make it down the hallway, you stood there laughing.
Because then you weren't the daughter of the chief of the state police to me. I didn't know any better then. I assumed you were nothing more than the scum my family arrest all the time, and thought it would fit the atmosphere to laugh. But soon after, your father showed up in a state police cop car.
That's right. He sure did make an entrance, didn't he? And when I stepped out to see how shocked all of you were from seeing my dad, I was entertained. I never thought that us humans could make such a face that could show just how scared we really were.
Willa, of course I've learned my lesson, but so has my husband. That is why. Can you please go to your father and let him know that we are both very, very sorry for the way we behaved today?
Sorry for the way you behaved? Tell me, why would you be sorry for that? I thought you both intentionally acted like that, knowing very well what you were doing to me.
Because we didn't know at the time that my husband was punching the daughter of the chief of the state police. And due to our misunderstandings, we said some very immature things to you about yourself and your father. I want you and your father to both know that, had we known you were his daughter, something like this would have never, ever happened to you.
Don't you find what you said just a little odd? Does that mean if I weren't the daughter of the chief of the state police, your husband punishing me would have been warranted? That's what you just said to me, right? That's why you thought it was okay to laugh at me after being assaulted and told me to get my blood off your carpet, right?
No, wait. I said that was, my family is a family of renowned police officers, which means we wanted to make sure our son would be married to someone of a similar background. That's why when you said you were raised by your single father, we didn't think you would be a good enough wife for our son.
Is that right? Well, I guess everyone has their own way of thinking, don't they? That would mean that your family's way of thinking and my family's way of thinking are completely different from one another. Just like my dad was saying, you all need to be punished for your actions immediately.
Why, Willa? Don't you still love our son to the point that you want to marry him? I'm telling you that you're allowed to marry him now if you'd like. So shouldn't you be trying to flatter us in some way now?
About what I think about your son now, you're better off just forgetting that I ever was in love with him. I mean, that love that I had for him waking up this morning is all gone now, thanks to that punch your husband landed on me.
What? What do you mean by that?
I meant exactly what I just said. Did you see your son today doing anything to come and help me after my jaw was punched and I was bleeding everywhere? Tell me right now, what did he do to protect me from his mom and dad? Did he do something for me even? No, I don't think he did jack. Actually, the one thing he did do was smile and laugh along with you, so that you guys wouldn't get upset with him.
He just acted like that because our family is very strict. And when it comes to his father, what he says goes, which means that if my husband wasn't happy with you at all, neither was my son. He knew at the time there wouldn't be a chance of marrying you anymore, so there was no need for him to help protect you.
And since that's the case, I don't give a damn about your son anymore. Now he's gone and really upset me because instead of even showing a little bit of care for me by asking if I was okay, he just stood there listening to and agreeing with you both. And right before your husband punched me, what did your son say again? What did Rowan say? Why didn't you tell me earlier that your dad was a single parent? That right there really pissed me off, but I couldn't show that anger because the next thing I knew, my lights were knocked out for a couple of seconds.
There was no helping that. He was just as shocked as the rest of us were. And now you're saying you won't marry him because of that? Are you really that picky of a woman?
Yes, I am actually. Because if I were to go ahead and still marry a man whom which I know despises me, who knows what would happen between us later on? You really think I'm going to be that stupid? That's why I'm backing down from marrying him now. And thank God I learned about the true Rowan now before it was too late.
No way. There's no way this could be happening.
Yeah, seriously. There's no way something like this could have happened. Getting punched in the face just because my dad is a single parent. And it's not like I was trying to hide that from anyone anyway. Nobody ever really asked about my parents, even Rowan, so I never talked about them. And now, after really putting some thought into all of this, your son must have never really been into me that much anyway. I think he just wanted to marry me because he's young and found me to be his easiest option after college.
That's not all true. Hey, we all share some roots in things like the police force, so you have to understand what was going through our minds, right? We can get over all of this together and act as though nothing serious ever happened. I think we can all laugh about this in the future. So please, Willa, find some way to go to your father and let him know that we're all sorry and would like him to forgive us.
No. What you should have been starting with is an apology for punching me in the face. I was punched in the jaw by a man 3 times my size, and that threw me 5 feet into your wall and onto the floor. My jaw is still not able to move without serious pain, and the inside of my cheek is so badly cut up that it'll need some stitches. From what I can see, my jaw is probably broken, and that's why it keeps throbbing so badly. I'm telling you right now that I will be taking your husband to court and winning a settlement from him.
I think what he did, he took things way too far then. But you were the one that never told any of us before that your father is a single parent, right? Also, you never told anyone about the fact that your father is the chief of the state police. There were plenty of very important things you forgot to tell us, or chose not to mention, that got us into this predicament, right?
I see here that I can no longer talk with you people.
You people?
I told you none of you ever asked me about my parents or about what my dad does. You all just assumed one thing or another and went with it, basing all your choices of it. And what the hell is so wrong with me not having a mom around anyway? It's a pretty common thing these days, so I would never actually try to hide it from anyone. It was just something that never got brought up. I mean, if you all really cared that much about someone else's parents, why didn't you start by asking me about them a long time ago? I think before you started any of this BS, you maybe should have wondered why you cared so much when your son isn't anything special. He's just your basic office worker, for crying out loud. You never saw my dad or I complaining about him, right? If you want to blame someone for all of this, start with your son, who is a complete idiot and never really showed any interest in my family in the first place.
Excuse me?
My dad is pissed that his only child was just punched in the face by a man who claims to be a renowned police officer. If my dad wasn't in a higher position than you all, I wonder how things would be playing out for me right now. For my dad, right now, I hope that my dad does everything in his power to make sure you all learn from what you've done today. Now, if y'all have any more complaints about what's happening next, take it up with my dad instead of me, please. I'm cutting ties to you all now and will no longer bother with any of you.
Long time no see, Willa. The reason why I'm talking with you again after so long is because I have something to ask from you.
Who are you again?
I'm your previous fiance's father, Jeffrey. I'm sorry for all the troubles that I had caused for you back then. So very sorry.
And what would you like from me now? I have a scar across the bottom of my jaw and had to spend 2 months drinking my food. It was one hell of a time after that surgery. Have you finally found the pair of balls you dropped years ago that will allow you to apologize to me? After that day, I have never heard anything from you about being sorry.
Ever since that day, I have felt so sorry for what I'd done and regret every bit of it. After that, I was forced to step down from my position on the police force and was taken into custody by the state police. After that, I never had the time to ever get in touch with you again because I had so much going on myself.
Tell me why you're messaging me now then. What could you possibly want with your victim of assault years after the incident?
I understand that it's been a couple of years now since all of that, unfortunately, went down. And that's why I would like to properly apologize to you now for it.
That's not at all why you're texting me, Jeffrey. You just told me you had something to ask of me, right? A favor? I don't remember you guys ever being so well behaved, so of course, there is something more to all of this. So, what do you want from me?
My son, Rowan, he's He was arrested for molesting someone.
What? Wait, are you kidding me?
It seems that he had this sudden impulse or something. He had always been raised to respect the law, considering this whole family is known for being in the police force. But after I was arrested, perhaps he lost faith or something in the system. Recently, I was always wondering why he seemed very off, like he no longer trusted anyone.
Absolute pile of trash, isn't he? I must have been in a really dangerous place going out with him and getting engaged to him. To think I was this close to becoming the wife of a molester? So I can see you got over your pride and managed to tell me that about your boy. What do you want from me?
Being arrested over something like molestation, that's something that is not taken well at all in this world. If he were to be charged with that in court soon, he would have that on his permanent record for life, and that would ruin any chance of succeeding in life for him. So I thought that maybe somehow, with the help of your father's power in... Do you think you could get your father to remove the charges that are being held against him?
Huh? You are really the scum of the earth, aren't you? I'm not doing that crap for you. I won't. I can't. And I have no reason to.
Don't say something like that, please, Willa. Just this. Please, just do something about this. I don't think my son did anything wrong to begin with. He was just trying to go out with you and make plans for marriage at the time. Had I never stepped in the way of that dream he had, then right now he'd be married to the daughter of the chief of the state police. My whole family of police officers would all be on top of the world with the help of your father's status. But because of the needless crap that I pulled years ago...
Well, what do you know? You seem to have finally come around to blaming yourself. Well, you're right. That is why everything in your life is all screwed up now. Had you never used and abused your name as a renowned police officer, then you all would be living pretty decent lives and not have to be worried about your son, the molester. I'm sure you guys would even be considered some of the state's finest.
And I don't think it's too late for us just yet. If you and your father help us here, we won't ever bite back at you guys like we'd done again. We will do everything you guys say, so please do something to help us here.
From all the crap I've heard coming out of your mouth, not one bit of it was worth my time. Also, I don't think my dad or I can see any possible reason to stick our neck out for you guys when there's nothing in it for either of us.
We can make something work. I'll make sure my son repays you both in some way.
We don't have a need for whatever your son has to offer us. Molesting someone is a very serious offense and will land him in jail, I presume. Why did you think that begging a stranger to help you bail him out would work in your favor? And why did you think something like touching another person's body without their permission was a crime my dad would be fine with overlooking? Perhaps it's because you're a prejudiced man that doesn't understand us women. But even if your disgusting son was pardoned from his crimes or bailed out by my dad, everyone would still know about what he's done as it's on the news, and not a single woman would want to be with him. I just looked what happened up, by the way, and the girl Rowan touched was 16. Do you know how scared she must have been when that happened to her? I think your son is going to either be paying her a lot of money for what he done, or rotting away in prison for touching an underage girl. Most likely both.
But it was really just a sudden urge.
And so what? I thought you all worked for the police before. Did you all just let robbers, killers, and molesters get away because they said it was just a sudden urge? He should not be forgiven for what he's done, that pile of crap, and you should be forced to suffer some more alongside him. I could send screenshots of this conversation to both my dad and the judge right now, and we'd see what happens to you.
My son has really learned that what he'd done was wrong, though. That's why, just this one time, I'm asking you to...
I don't give a damn. That freak needs to pay for his disgusting crimes. That's how this stuff works. Sure, he may feel bad for what he's done now, but he has not been punished yet, and he won't be a changed man until that punishment has been inflicted upon him. And one last thing. If Rowan was wanting to feel up another girl like that so badly, then maybe he should make some money and hire a prostitute. Why do you think there are women out there making so much money doing things like that? Because there are plenty of freaks like your son that need their fix.
No way. I understand. I get that my son is a freak now, but ever since that day your dad came to our house, we've been at a loss. My son was forced to get himself a new job working part-time, and his pride was ruined. And myself, I had to lose my job as a police officer and serve time for what I did to you. Without me, my son had to go through that hard time alone, and that's what led to him committing such a filthy crime.
Everyone goes through hard times, you dick, but not everyone goes out and molest others because of it. I don't care how hard it may have been on you guys, you all deserved what you got. So stop acting like you guys don't deserve all that you've gotten, because you're not the victims. You're all the criminals that my dad has been working so hard to get rid of, and I will not step in and jeopardize his mission.
We didn't mean to. I'm really so sorry.
I really do not have the time to care about your bullcrap anymore, Jeffrey. You all being complete idiots is not something I'm responsible for. You were all raised to think what you were doing was okay, so now you're going to have to deal with the outcome of your actions. I don't think any of you guys deserve to be on the street anymore, to be honest, thinking that you are the victims of everything when it doesn't benefit you. I hope you and your family of scum go and rot in hell for the rest of time. Rowan soon had a name made for himself as the disgusting molester child of his ex-police officer family. His dad could do nothing for him, and he was forced to wait in his jail cell until the day of his trial, where he'd have to go up and face that girl he touched on the bus. Jeffrey was also going through a lot at the time he was texting me last, since he had only gotten out of prison himself a week or two earlier, after being sent there for punching me. His wife Amanda was still around, but had to pick up the slack while he was away, making money working 3 jobs, and the rest of the family had cut ties to them after they were too taken off by the police force. As for what happened with myself, a few years back after being assaulted, I went to the ER and had my surgery done the next day to fix my jaw, and there I found who would become my husband in the future. My surgeon, and thanks to our paths crossing in the hospital, I now have myself a very kind man that, unlike Rowan, will always have my back no matter what. Thinking back on the family of Jeffrey, I really do take pride in what my dad has to do, because if it wasn't for him being in such a high position, then who knows what could have happened between myself and that family then.